So this is for samples and populations, problem 1.2. And in problem 1.2, you're asked to make an actual histogram using 10-point intervals, or intervals of 10. So if you see my chart here, I'm going to have intervals of 0 to 9. So there's 10 starts here. So we have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and this would be 100 if we continued. So those are the different intervals. I've actually, in my chart here, put the 0 to 9 to remind you that 10 starts here. And what we want to do is make a histogram of the quality ratings for the natural peanut butter. So these are the natural peanut butters, and they go all the way down to number 14 actually. So there are 14 of those. These are the natural peanut butters that we need off of our list. And so we're going to take those natural peanut butters and their quality ratings and make a histogram out of that. And so the way you do that is just by looking at the numbers that we have here. And all we have to do is keep count in each interval. So what I would look for here is I can actually just kind of work this like a checklist. Let's see if I can get both of these to show at the same time. So if I look at that 71, that's going to go in this interval right here in the 70 to 79, so I'm just going to put an X there. I don't need to put the 71 down because I'm making a histogram, which really means I'm just keeping count. So 71 and then a 69 would go in the 60 to 69 section, so I'm going to put a mark there. I'm going to mark these off as I do them. And then the 60 would also go in there, and another 60. So you see, I'm just really using my chart as a way to check off these as I do them. 57 goes between 50 and 59. 52, same interval. 34, and again our intervals are intervals of 10. 89, so I go over here, it's going in there. 69, another one. 67, same interval. 63, same interval. 57, and 40. And so now what I have, and my count on the side, if I want to keep track, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is my highest one. And so now what I have is a histogram, and these are the quality ratings for natural peanut butter. And as you can see, if we were to say, what's typical, what's the average, if we're thinking about our natural peanut butters, if we look, the interval with the greatest number is this middle interval, so it looks like the typical or average would be in the 60 to 70 interval. Be your typical quality rating for a natural peanut butter. Now, if you remember from a previous lesson, we looked at the quality ratings of regular peanut butters, and so here's the graph, the histogram. It was from that, and our 30 to 40 quality rating was pretty standard for the regular peanut butters. And so now this gives you a nice comparison. You can see that these are around the 30 to 40, and then our natural peanut butters are in the 60 to 70 interval. And so it looks like the quality of the natural peanut butters is quite a bit higher based on this ranking scale than on others. Now, in this problem, we look at this and can look at the distribution. The distribution means where is the data distributed. In this case, it's distributed between 30 and 90, which is kind of like our range. So your data is distributed in this range, and it's distributed where most of the data falls in the middle. So when we talk about data distributions, we want to talk about where they go from, so our range, but we also would like to talk about where the most or the majority of that data falls, which in this case is in the 60 to 70 range. So that's just the first part of problem 1.2. Problem 1.2a is making this graph and then describing the distribution of the data, describing the distance between the lowest and the highest, and how that data is distributed across the top.